this fire, extra fire tax, which I wish you could please just put it to the people to vote on to see if it's necessary, because it seems like we're always paying for services that we don't even get. Like, I give money for the firefighters. They deserve money, but it seems like nobody has any, except for these taxes keep coming up, and the people that have a lot of badges and whatever, they get more and more money, and they don't even need it. So, thank you. Please consider putting it to the vote to the people. That's all I have to say.
1 year ago tomorrow, the 2nd District Supervisor made a short but eloquent speech on behalf of unincorporated residents concerning FP5. In part, the supervisor stated, unincorporated residents want to have a voice and a vote in what taxes they are paying. Rather than heeding that advice, the board chose to expand FP5 and impose the tax, rather than submit it to the voters as required by the California Constitution. Here we are a year later, and item 96 represents really a confusion and frustration for affected residents. County Fire's website, under a heading labeled Important Facts, states landowners within the service zone will see the $157.25 service fee on the property tax bill starting in November 2019. However, the resolution in front of you would increase that fee. Same website, along with numerous community meetings, promised that 9 existing service zones were to be replaced. Today, 10 service zones exist, with no end in sight for the 9 extra zones as FPA5 lawsuits play out in court. Your first duty, above revenue, beyond even your constituents, is to the text of the Constitution. It reads, no local government may impose, extend, or increase a special tax unless and until that tax is submitted to the electorate and approved by a 2/3 vote. But for 1,022 voters in Helendale, not a single resident of the county is given the opportunity to approve the FP5 special tax. Your first duty is to right this wrong. My concern is what it has been from the beginning, and that was that the way this was imposed was a violation of the California Constitution that requires a 2/3 vote for the imposition or the expansion of a special tax. What the board decided today, after probably, an hour and a half maybe of discussion, was essentially they agreed with that point. They took a reasonable middle road, if you will, in terms of the options in front of them. But at the end of the day, what their motion reads right now is that the voters will get an opportunity to vote on fire services prior to January 1st, 2021. So in my opinion, this is a very solid win for the unincorporated residents. Primarily, there's some incorporated residents that are covered by FP5, but this is a very solid win for those residents of the county because they've been given their vote back. It's somewhat ridiculous that they had to go to this effort to demand that vote back, but they did, and they talked to their supervisors, and particularly Supervisor Lovingood, Supervisor Rutherford, and Supervisor Rao were all strongly in favor of that principle. To a certain extent, this kind of brings back a little bit of faith in, American democracy and the ability of people to have input and provide a voice and change things. I really highly recommend at the county level that people be involved with whatever issue or whatever issues are important to them. Do it in a respectful manner. I think you'll have some success. things started out, that was okay. They were outside chanting and doing that type of thing, but the noise wasn't bad or anything like that, and it was actually kind of fun. Then people began to beat on the window, and it wasn't just one person. At times it was multiple persons, and you couldn't even hear yourself in there. We actually had to, I think, suspend the meeting for a little bit so that they could kind of get control of it. I'm assuming they were worried about the windows caving in or something like that.
Tracy, go ahead and shut the blinds again. I'm sorry. Can we have someone out there tell them they can't pound?
I'd like to wait till...
Yeah. I'm going to call a personal break real quick. I'll be right back. We can hold
Yeah,
comment.
can we call maybe just a small personal break?
Let's take 10 minutes.
So it got to be where it was so loud, the board couldn't conduct business. But if I were a board member, it wouldn't inure me positively to whatever case they were going to make that they're beating on the windows and disrupting the meeting. It didn't. That's not gonna sway me positively. That's gonna probably put kind of a mark against you, and I think you're much more likely to listen to a civil discussion. And when you go past that point where I'm going to interrupt what you're trying to do, that's uncivil. And I don't feel like it's successful or helpful.
What's outrageous? What's outrageous? What's outrageous?
These people that care for their parents or your brothers and sisters have gone without a contract for far too long. Far too long. No one should ever have to decide, should I care for an individual or go and find another job? That's unnecessary. Our members should never have to decide, do I get health care or do I pay my bills? That should never happen.
If we don't get it, if we don't get it, if we don't get it.
So my name is Daisy. I'm with the Warehouse Worker Resource Center. We are a nonprofit in Ontario, and we're out here today supporting SEIU 2015. Their members are fighting for a contract that they haven't received in 10 years. So they're in-home caregivers who are taking care of elders and people with disabilities. And yeah, they're just fighting for a contract so they can have better benefits, better wages, more dignity, for themselves and for the people they take care of.
I started in February of this year. Both my parents fell ill, so I moved both of my parents into my home. It's a 24-hour job. It's like sometimes you feel like you need a little break, because it gets to be overwhelming. We're fighting for health care, we're fighting for benefits, and probably higher pay. We're not getting paid enough for what we're doing.
They don't think that these workers deserve above minimum wage, which is bull. These workers work hard. They do what we call God's work. We call them angels without wings. Because some of them might only have 6 or 8 hours per day, but they work 12, 14 hours because they care for their patients, they care for their consumers. They go over and beyond the call of duty. But these Board of Supervisors here don't think that they deserve higher than minimum wage.
Do you know of any leaders right now that would be great to represent this county?
That's a good question.
Would I ever think of? Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was thinking about finding someone who's going to run for supervisor, and if no one could do it, I definitely would if it was needed, if it was necessary to do it.
So how do you feel about those 4 principles?
I wish I could learn more about them. They sound pretty good. If someone convinced me that it was going to be effective and that I would actually win, then yeah, why not? Because we want somebody who's embedded in the community, part of our partners, who's going to advocate for the things that we think should be advocated for.